Kotaku, Polygon, the gamer, they are all cesspools filled with activists who don't actually care about the video game industry. And if they were to go under, I really wouldn't shed a tear for them. Honestly, I think I'd throw a celebration. But now we're finding out that Kotaku could be in deep trouble, and 2025 could be the last year they're in business because the former Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is suing their parent company for alleged defamation on their gaming site. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, Kotaku has gone downhill. Over the past decade, they've been pretty bad when it's come to attacking gamers and really just being out of touch with the people they're writing articles for, but it has gotten especially bad because they are filled to the brim with activists. You had people like Alyssa Mercante working there, going to bat for companies like Sweet Baby Inc., saying, oh, Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what you think they do, when that's a lie, and they do what you believe they do. And then you have people like Jen Glennon who double and triple down on these opinions and attack gamers who are simply not in agreement with their political leaning, that do not constantly just say, yes, I totally agree with what you're saying, and you're so right, and everybody else is terrible. And now that they are going to be in the middle of this lawsuit, right, I am not going to be very sad if we hear in the next 12 months that, well, Kotaku is no more. So in a move that could significantly impact Kotaku and its parent company, Geo Media, former Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has filed a defamation lawsuit alleging deliberate misrepresentation by two of the media group's outlets, which is just so funny because Kotaku has been accused many times over the years of intentionally misrepresenting people's words. I mean, even look at what happened with the Farm Folks CEO not that long ago. He said that Alyssa took his words completely out of context in order to push a story on their website. And did she apologize? No. Did she clarify? No. She just kind of buried the situation to try to get away from it. But this is not shocking to anybody who follows these websites closely. Even look at what IGN did with Black Myth Wukong. They came up with stories alleging sexism within the company and misogyny and all of these terrible things because of two anonymous interviews. They never released who those interviews were with. They never said who they were, if they were even people that worked at the company once or not, or just were familiar with the situation. And then to really make it even worse, what they did was they kept doubling and tripling and quadrupling down. When the game finally came out, you had them saying, oh, well, this game is pretty good, but it doesn't feature enough women, when that's a straight up lie because there's a whole chapter that has women in it. And they just could never come out and straight up apologize or try to make the situation better when they were accused of misrepresenting certain words and phrases that were used. They just mistranslated a lot of things and then kind of stayed silent on it. So this isn't really like something new to the video game industry. And I never thought that I would have to create a video where I'm siding with someone as scummy as a Bobby Kotick, but here we are. I mean, I don't really care what the outcome is here because I don't feel strongly for either side. I dislike Bobby Kotick, I dislike Kotaku and Geo Media. If they both just wasted, 5 years and millions of dollars fighting each other, that would be fine with me, but I just don't really see that happening, and it just goes to show that even more people are becoming aware of Kotaku's BS. So according to the legal complaint, Kotick contends that both Kotaku and Gizmodo published articles regarding his rumored involvement in a potential acquisition of TikTok. Kotick alleges that the outlets unnecessarily revived past accusations against him that had already been dismissed as part of their coverage. It is one thing to just bring up the fact that, oh, he used to be in this situation, but he also wasn't found to have done anything wrong, and the company was found to have done nothing wrong. And then just straight up say, well, he's used to legal battles because of X, Y, and Z. He is correct that they had already been dismissed, but I think that he also is being a little overzealous here because Everybody within the gaming industry that follows news looks at Blizzard as a laughing stock now, and anybody that was a part of Blizzard at that time is a laughing stock. People will always question, like, the breast milk situation. People will always question, oh, was Bobby Kotick ever at those holiday parties? And these are all things that are forevermore going to be brought up, whether he sues or doesn't sue. People are really just going to double down when it comes to talking about this now. And I'm sure that if Kotaku has enough money and believes that they can win this, they're going to continue to make articles with the same exact claims and just doubling and tripling down. But if they don't, well, then we're going to see them be pretty silent. The lawsuit states that the referenced claims stemming from prior investigations into Activision Blizzard had been, quote, conclusively disproven by numerous investigations, yet were still used in the articles. Kotick argues that this inclusion served no journalistic purpose and was designed to cause reputational harm. The problem is that these people do not have any sort of journalistic purpose to any of their articles because they are not real journalists. They are just people writing articles to try to make a few bucks. People that do not even care about the gaming industry. Efforts from his representatives to request corrections were reportedly met with minimal action. While Gizmodo removed the word disgraced from its original headline and both sites later added brief clarifications, Kotick asserts that the article continues to mischaracterize the situation, and this lawsuit comes amid growing scrutiny of media practices across the gaming and tech journalism sectors. The case highlights ongoing concerns regarding the responsibilities of media outlets when reporting on individuals previously involved in legal disputes, particularly after the resolution of such matters. You would think that Kotaku would have been a little bit more careful, that they would have worded this a little bit more carefully, but that's not the case. And of course, Kotaku is just kind of known for misrepresenting situations and really just trying to dig their claws into any situation that they are not a part of to try to get back at the people that they do not like. Of course, the TikTok situation is a very complex one, so I'm not going to get fully into it, but when the rumors were circulating that Bobby Kotick wanted to potentially become involved with TikTok, whether it's buying TikTok or like investing in TikTok, there was a lot of discussion about Biden versus Trump and what they did for the social platforms and what their plan was in the future and all of these different things. And of course, Kotaku and the people there have a hate boner for Trump. So it was them just basically trying to say, oh, well, if Kotick wants to work with Trump, that's terrible. That's the way that it goes. The prior scrutiny Kotick references dates back to 2021 when the California Civil Rights Department launched an investigation into Activision Blizzard regarding alleged workplace misconduct. The case garnered widespread attention, culminating in a $54 million settlement agreement in late 2023. So if this actually is successful for them, it could set a precedent for how media organizations handle previously resolved legal matters, especially when referencing them in unrelated coverage. But it also does, yes, just underscore the growing legal focus on accountability in digital journalism, which is what Gamergate 1 was all about. It was about ethics in video game journalism and the way that the media was presenting certain games and if they were being paid off to give positive coverage to certain games. And Gamergate 2 does have an underlying touch of that, but I think that we've all recognized that these media outlets cannot be saved, and they do not care about ethics in journalism. They really just care about pushing their own propaganda and ultimately making a few bucks to try to keep the site afloat and keep them in a career within the gaming industry, even though they don't care about video games. But I will be keeping my eye on this situation. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be talking about it. I don't think that we're going to get a lot more information on it anytime soon, unless people like Jen Glennon make any statements. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.